Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again. Tonight I want to speak to you on the subject matter, a life for a life. And I want to speak to you on that subject because I want you to understand just what it means in being a different person, in being a different personality, in being what we call born again. And I emphasize being born again because it is necessary in order to be effective in the creation of something so fantastic as this that we now claim to pursue through you, but definitely through me. And so my reach or outreach to you is to give you information so that when you make the choice, it will be a choice with understanding. A life for a life. For those of you who are scriptural, the Bible tells us that there was a situation in heaven where someone was dissatisfied with protocol and wanted to change things around. Went around and got some support. It was discovered and they were denied what we call life in that form. They became ignorant with no knowledge of heavenliness and were booted out. That story doesn't stop there. It actually ends up in the Garden of Eden, for those of you who are familiar with the story, where a bunch of rules were established to be as protocol. But for one reason or another, someone determined that there was a different way that was a better way. And as a consequence, they lost all knowledge and understanding for the connection of life that they so enjoyed previously. And now they are left to their own understanding. They were booted out. And so we live in a world where all of the knowledge that we have is knowledge that comes from those who have been booted out because they did not want to follow the rules of life. And so every time they forfeited their lives on that which was good in pursuit of that which they thought was better for themselves, it gave them a different life. And so this message today is to say a life for a life. I want you to understand that when we talk about peace and when we talk about prosperity, when we talk about joy for all people, we are talking about a social change, an economic change. We are talking about a spiritual change in our understanding about life. Everything that we understand previously is all about what we have encountered one way or another from our first breath to our present situation. But being born again means to have a renewing of your mind, to have sought out, and it didn't just come to you. It didn't just come to any of you. Those of you who are born again reached out for it. You sought it. You got on your knees and you prayed for it. You crawled for it. You begged for it. It didn't just come. It was always there. But in order for you to receive it, you had to humble yourselves through prayer. You had to humble yourselves through begging. You had to crawl. That was humbling yourself to receive what was already there. And when you got to the point where you were ready, then you received it. So what is being said to all of us today is that in order for us to understand God's way, we got to be born again. You must understand that all of the conditions that we experience, the good and the bad, whether we're here in Minnesota or whether we're anywhere in the United States of America or anywhere on the globe, all of the conditions that we are experiencing, they are experienced as a result of us adhering to the principles that have been dictated to us by those who have said that they are better than the Creator. And they are empowered by you who have been denied the knowledge of God And you have given them the right to go forward. And all of the pain and suffering in the midst of all the goodness that happens, wherever it happens, is at your hands, and you don't even know it. But I come to tell you today that God says there's a different way. There's a way of love. That's what God is all about. But you must be born again. You must want to see peace. You must strive to understand the principles of life, that what it is all about. I tell you, when you do that, you might go crazy. But if you're sincere in your heart, you won't have to go that far. Because the spirit of life is there searching for those who are just right. Those who are just right to understand the prerequisites that set one on the path to life. And that's a humble heart. That's a puring of the heart. For you shall see the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Now, I don't want to take too much of your time, ladies and gentlemen, but I want you to know that a life for a life, in order to move on God's side, which is about love and joy, in order to move on God's side, you got to be willing to give up everything on your own understanding side. Everything that you, and I say this to you, because you can only recognize what I'm saying as being truth if you have been born again. You don't understand what I'm talking about. You haven't been born again, so don't pretend that you have. To be born again means that you see all of the good things in the world in which we live. You see all the bad things in the world in which we live. And you see the connection. You see the reason they exist. You see the solution for their fulfillment to get them proper. Yet, there's nothing you can do as one who has been stayed on the side of the world that would make it better. In order to make it better, you must be willing. You must be willing to give up even life itself as you know it to make things right. You must be willing. I'm not talking about, well, I hope it don't come. No. You must be willing to give it up. Why? Because it is a fruitful thing. It is a good thing. It helps. It aids getting things proper. And let me tell you this. First of all, for those of you who believe that there is a God. Now, you know, a lot of folks don't believe that there's a God. But for those of you who believe that there is a God, you must believe that this God is a good God. Let me clear this up. You must believe that the God that you have put your faith in, which is able to create all existence, the earth, the globe, the things that are seen, the things that are unseen, you, the spirit, and all that, is able to be in charge of what happened before we came into this plane, is able to be in charge of what's happening now, and is able to be in charge with what happens afterwards. And none of that, basically, is in our hands. The only thing we have control of is what we do at the moments that we live. What we do right now is the only thing we have control of. And what is our emotion right now? What is our feeling right now? What is our compassion right now? Do we feel good? Are we happy about what we're doing? Are we feeling responsible? Are we feeling that we are being used by something good to do something good? Do we feel that way? Then if we feel that way, let us do it. Let us do it. And what am I saying to you today? I'm saying to you today that the world as we see it today, the thing that keeps it different from the world in which we dream and aspire, is the poverty. The poverty that brings crime and violence to a nation. But the poverty that exists because it is the expression of a people that's denied the understanding of the true spirit of God, which is love. Understanding that the Creator who made you and everything made it all for each of us. And our system must be designed in such a way that there is no crime and violence because there is no poverty. Everybody, every soul has fulfillment in that it has an understanding of its purpose. And its purpose is being fulfilled. And as a result of that, it is that there is peace among the people. It is peace among the nations. One reason is because we're treating the nations as we treat ourselves. We're treating the nations as we want the nations to treat us. And we're teaching other nations who have been led to think otherwise that yes, this can work. Because we prescribe to it ourselves. And yes, we will be prosperous because we now understand that everything in life belongs to all of us. And when we create our understanding of how to share it in such a way, each of us can be able to realize our dreams in this life, not worried about the next life. Why? Because this life is satisfied. I'm asking you to understand that poverty must be eliminated. It must be eliminated by those who understand that God is real. And God has empowered us with truth. Wherever there's pain and suffering, you and I must stand in the gap to give some understanding for those who would cause the pain, to give some understanding to those who have received the pain, put it all together and show the way to end the situation that created pain. And together we can go forward as a nation, as a people, feeling the love and understanding that we have one with another, because we are all one, brothers and sisters of the creative power. I'm talking about God. I know y'all don't like to hear anyone talk about God. But I'm talking about God because I want you to take your mind off yourselves. I want you to take your minds off your political perspectives. I want you to take your mind off you being a Democratic and your Democratic point of view. I want you to take your mind off being a Republican and your conservative Republican point of view. I want you to take your mind off your Tea Party perspective. I want you to take your mind off your black and your white perspectives. And I want you to all put your mind on God's perspective. And I want you all to understand that God is the master of it all. I want you to understand that God, look, is that power that created everything. I want you to look at that for a moment in your own minds, to see God as the master of it all. I want you to see that. I want you to see the clouds that rise in the sky. I want you to see the magnificence of the sun and the moon and what it does in those moments when it's supposed to. I want you to understand the rain, the snow, the sleet, and the hail that falls to the earth when it does. And I want you to understand the earth as it brings forward the seasonal expressions that it does. I want you to understand the mother, the father that creates children doing a process that has been already designed. I want you to understand that. And then I want you to understand the creator of it all. I want you to understand, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're young, whether you're old, whether you're American or any other, that you all exist by the same power. That same power that shows you so much love. That same power that makes you want to receive so much love is the same power that makes every last one of you experience the same carnations of life. I want you to understand that that power that fed you such a hunger also prepared that that hunger might be met from the fruits of life that spills from the earth. It is called from the earth by the figments of your mind as you design and see, and it is ready, like a mother, to give birth to whatever you call her for. You take it forward, and humankind profits because the master of creation has designed it so. So in the midst of all the things that's happening today, I'm asking you, whether you're a Christian, whether you're Muslim, whether you're an atheist, and whether you're one just floating by, I'm calling all of you to listen for just a moment. Listen for just a moment. I want to give you a reason. If you believe, to believe more. If you doubt, to stop and think and maybe consider that believing ain't such a bad way to go. I want to tell you about a power that loves you. I want to tell you about a power that created you. I want to tell you about a power that designed the path in life. That your life could be the most rosiest life that you could ever imagine. I want to tell you about a power that has freed the way that you can laugh, that you can dance, that you can sing, that you can enjoy, and that you can apply your talents in life. That the world will be better only because you played your role into it. I want to tell you about a power that created everything to make that so in your life. And though those things do not exist, all we have to do is change our minds and understand that the path that we have been walking is a path that has been designed to keep us on the same path, experiencing the same things that we have been experiencing all the while. And that if we want to change things, we got to step on the other side of time. We got to accept that the way of life is different than what we have been doing. We must be committed and we must do the things that are required to give life, knowing that there might be an occasion that someone would kill us, literally kill us, for the love that we express. But then that's what it is all about. That is what love is all about. To grow and develop to the point where only love can exist in you. And to give your life is a small thing to do. That mankind can understand that life is not caught up in fear. Life is not bound by what someone can do to you, because every last one of you control every moment of your life. I know you don't think it. I know you don't know it. You haven't been trained to know it. You have been denied the blessings of that kind of understanding. But the reality of it is that every last one of you are the masters of your own life. For you can do what you want to do. You can agree or disagree. You can understand or not understand, but to understand gives you the power to make the proper choice. Whether you do or not depends upon what your choices that are important to you. I say to you today that I'm going to end this message. I didn't want to even approach you in this manner, but I want you to know that you better come back and hear another portion of this. I don't have the time to give it to you right now, but this is very important. So you come back and go to part 2. How about that? All right? All right. Bye-bye now.